Hello. Today I will compare two calibrators, monitor calibrators. One is X-Rite ColorMunki display, and the other is Spyder4Pro from Data Color. It's been in internet, all people are curious, including me. I was very curious which one is better, which one to choose. And I will compare here different profiles that these calibrators create depending on the adjustment of the monitor. I will use the larger monitor which I have here, which is HP ZR24W, because it has relatively good color gamut, which covers almost sRGB and represents the colors correctly, relatively correctly. It's okay for photo editing, not really high-end, but probably mid-end monitor for that. And so I can say the conclusion of this right at the moment before starting the comparison. Both of these calibrators create actually different profiles under the same conditions. So this hardware reacts differently, or even the software, because the hardware measures the colors, the monitor properties, and the software later evaluates this information and according to it creates a profile to compensate the monitor. So let's start with it. Let's first see how it looks like to calibrate the monitor using Spyder4. Now I will also show how we calibrate, how it looks like to calibrate the monitor with X-Rite ColorMunki display. So let's start by opening the application for Spyder4Pro. Here you see a wizard when you begin when you launch the program. It guides you through the calibration steps that you need to pass. It's fairly straightforward, you just need to follow the steps. And at points to properly provide a correct configuration that related to your monitor's characteristics. So let's see what will I do here. So in this window we have an option to choose between three types of monitors to calibrate. Of course I choose LCD because I will calibrate this LCD screen here. You can rename it. You can put here, for example, I will put HP ZR24W, which is the model of my monitor. I will then go to the next step. Here I may provide some more additional information, and let's go next. Here is we need to put information about the gamut and the backlight of the monitor. I know that this monitor is a normal gamut. If you have a white gamut, you need to put white gamut. If you don't know what it is, you just select unknown. And the backlight of my monitor is CCFL, fluorescent. In this window we need to tell whether we can manually adjust the contrast. Yes, I can manually adjust the contrast in my monitor. The brightness, yes, and also the temperature presets. more information that's necessary to provide. So this is related with the calibration that will be done. We want that the calibration matches a gamma 2.2, the white point, which is a daylight white point, 6500 Kelvin. The brightness, we put it default to be LCD, and here we can choose either it's ambient light or whether the device should consider the ambient light while we create the calibration. The difference I will tell you is if we choose at the moment off, the default will be to calibrate the screen to 120 lumen per square meter. So we put here, now we need to, when we continue, we are shown where to put the profiler. So it should stick very well to your screen. You can adjust it, and once you make sure it's closely on top of the screen, you proceed next and the calibration will start. So we now will see how the application for calibrating using X-Rite ColorMunki looks like. So let's start to see how this is. When we open the application, we have a choice to go either profiling display or a projector. We have again a wizard that guides us throughout the calibration process. It's very easy to use. In this study, we will see what is the difference between selecting easy profiling and advanced profiling settings. With the easy, you don't need to configure anything, but with advanced, you have to provide some additional information to the program related with what the profile should be. Also, what we saw in Spyder that we provide information about the monitor, it also exists here. It's here in File Preferences, and you need to specify what type of your monitor is. In our case, it's a normal gamut CCFL monitor. I also recommend you not to select anything to be done automatically, to disable achieve this display luminance value using white LUT. Also to enable ADC. Later, what you need to do is recommended luminance for monitor for editing photos is 120 lumen per square meter. The white balance again here is what is recommended, 6500 Kelvin. There is here option to for smart control of depending on the ambient light. I recommend you not to select it. Well, then if you select it, you will not have much predictive results at the end. And if you are using laptop with glossy screen, probably would be good to select flare correct, which accounts for the flare, and the profile may be a bit more, have more contrast at the end. In our case, I will disable it. So now we need to put the ColorMunki on the display. You should make sure that it stays flat on the screen, and you start profiling by pressing the next button. There is a big difference, significant difference actually, how these devices, this hardware reads information from the monitor while they do the profiling and calibration. So what is desired is that we need to set the brightness of the screen to 120. To achieve this, in either of Spyder4Pro or X-Rite ColorMunki, we need to set different brightness and contrast values for the monitor. This process of reading and guiding you how to set the brightness and contrast happens during the calibration process. So in this case, in order to achieve so when we set actually the monitor settings, the brightness to 70 in my monitor and the contrast to 75, Spyder4Pro reads 120. On the other side, X-Rite ColorMunki reads 163. And if I set the monitor settings, the brightness to 60 and the contrast to 64, the Spyder4Pro reads 91.3 and the X-Rite ColorMunki reads 120. So this is one important thing to consider while comparing them, because these devices are not same, and as we will see later, they don't create identical profiles. In this respect, it's like comparing apples to oranges, and we really can't conclude at the end which one is the absolute good profile. So the conclusion of this comparison is that none of these, actually these two devices don't produce the same results. They don't produce the same calibration. So we can't, at the moment we can't say which one is the golden standard, whether X-Rite ColorMunki makes the right calibration or Spyder4Pro makes the right calibration. The difference, noticeable difference between them is that Spyder4Pro produces a profile which has more contrast than X-Rite ColorMunki. This might be due probably to difference in the gamma, but both gammas seem to be set to 2.2. So I am not an expert of this, how they are made and how exactly is taken decision to adjust the contrast and so, but obviously there is some difference. What you can do is, if you are doing, you can adjust, you can preset a profile in your taste. Probably I would say that Spyder4Pro looks better when the image is seen on the display, on an LCD display, and probably a ColorMunki will generate a profile which is somehow closer to a printed image, but still they are good enough. The colors are relatively correct, better, much better than without a calibrated monitor. Spyder4Pro has more contrast. X-Rite ColorMunki has less contrast. And that's all. Thanks for watching.